before we get into this explosive story that's shaking the streets of hip-hop and Hollywood alike. You already know what to do. Mash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your people. Trust me, you don't want them to miss what I'm about to break down, because this isn't just some celebrity gossip. This is a kind of behind-the-scenes bombshell that could blow the lid off the entire BMF series and possibly land 50 Cent in some serious legal heat. Yeah, you heard me right, because as of today, the whispers have turned into loud conversations. Lil Meech, yes, Demetrius Lil Meech Flenory Jr. has been talking, and what he said, it's got people asking some real serious questions about the legitimacy, the legal risks, and maybe even the morality behind the whole BMF television empire. So let's rewind a little. You know the BMF series on Starz, right? Executive produced by none other than Curtis 50 Cent Jackson himself. The show became an instant hit, pulling in massive audiences for its gritty portrayal of the infamous Black Mafia Family, a drug trafficking and money laundering organization that dominated Detroit and beyond in the late 1990s and early 2000s. Allegedly, during a sit-down with some close associates, some who had ties to the original BMF operation, he let it slip that certain characters in the show were not just composites. They were real individuals with real histories. People who might still be out there. People who might still be under the radar. People who might now be exposed. And when one of those people sees themselves portrayed on screen in a way that could imply they were involved in a criminal conspiracy they were never charged for, that's ground for a lawsuit. And lawsuits are just the beginning. And who's the face behind that show? The man who pitched it. The man who sold it. The man who promoted it. 50 Cent. Now pause right here. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video, because we're just getting started, and it's only getting crazier from here. So let's talk about 50 for a second. 50 Cent isn't new to controversy. This is the same man who built his career on raw honesty, brutal storytelling, and turning real-life drama into mass appeal. But when you go from rap lyrics to multi-million-dollar television productions, the stakes get a lot higher. You can't just say what you want and assume there won't be consequences, especially when federal investigations, sealed indictments, and high-level drug trafficking are involved. If Lil Meech's revelations are accurate, and again, insiders are saying there, then 5-0 may have unknowingly or knowingly exposed himself to liability. Because when you're adapting real stories, you need clearance. You need releases. You need to make sure you're not outing someone who never agreed to be outed. The BMF show was supposed to be a dramatization, but if it's more of a documentary in disguise, that's dangerous territory. There's also another layer to this mess: the family dynamics. Big Meech is still locked up. He's been serving time since 2008, and he's not scheduled for release anytime soon. But from behind bars, he's been supportive of the show, his son, and even 50 Cent. He's given quotes. He's sent letters. He's even dropped audio messages backing the whole project. But now, if this leaks reaches the feds, and they realize that sensitive information is being disseminated through media, they could decide to crack down harder. They could reopen files. They could subpoena production documents. They could even pull in 50 Cent for questioning, especially if it turns out that he had access to insider information that was not meant for public consumption. Think about it. The BMF operation involved millions in drugs and cash, crossed multiple states, and included over 500 people on various levels. You think the feds won't pay attention if it looks like a TV show just aired details they never had access to? Yeah, they will. And Lil Meech, knowingly or not, might have just opened Pandora's box. Because here's the thing about secrets. Once they're out, you can't put them back in, and the streets are talking. Former BMF associates are already side-eyeing the show. Some are saying they didn't give consent. Others are worried their old lives are being dragged into the spotlight. And a few, they're talking legal action, which brings us back to 50. If lawsuits start flying, guess who they'll name first? Not the actors, not even the writers, but the executive producer, the man who pitched the show, the man who did the interviews, the man who claimed this is the real story of the streets. That man? Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent. And to make matters worse, this isn't the first time 50's caught heat for pushing the envelope. He's had beefs with networks, Starz, and even law enforcement before. But this time, this ain't no rap beef. This is federal. Let's keep it real. What Lil Meech may have revealed isn't just loose talk. It's testimony. And if he's on record, even informally, identifying real-life events and characters behind the scenes, it gives ammunition to anyone looking to sue or investigate. Now, some people are defending Lil Meech, saying he's young, saying he didn't mean to expose anything. But that doesn't change the facts. Because once the words are out there, it's game over. Intent doesn't always matter in court, especially not when you're dealing with potential criminal implications. And if 50 Cent didn't know that certain plot lines were too close to reality, that might help him a little. But ignorance isn't always a defense, especially when you're the one with the power, the platform, and the profit. So now the question is, what happens next? Will the feds open new cases based on what was shown in the series? Will lawsuits begin to surface from people who feel exposed or defamed? Will 50 Cent have to go to court to defend his decisions as a producer? And what does this mean for Lil Meech, who may have just turned a legacy project into a liability? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear. The BMF story isn't over. Not by a long shot. And if what Lil Meech said is true, then this might just be the beginning of a whole new chapter 1 filled with subpoenas, courtrooms, and the kind of drama that doesn't need a script.